Friday. I am aware that I am 45 minutes late, and I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot. My plan for this live was to do it in the car while I was going to get Rory from UPK, but Remy fell asleep in the car, and I was so concerned about being quiet that I completely forgot. And then I pull up to UPK pickup, and Coach Ashley's husband, Dan, is like, I thought you were going live at 1:30. Like, hello, making fun of me. And then I was like, oh, shoot, I completely forgot. But I'm here, and she's still asleep in the car, which is so great. All right, so I'm going over weekend, right? How do I handle my weekend? First, this is important, and I know everyone's probably gonna roll their eyes, right? But F your weekend if your week is not established. Why I can navigate my weekends is because my week and my routine and my education on food and lifting is so solid, right? Because I know what to eat during the week, because I've been doing this for 7 years, because I've really dove into the education part and the consistency and learned how to adapt. That's why I can do my weekends. But let's pretend we're there, right? And you're crushing it during the week. You know your macros. You're not just eating healthy. You're strength training, right? So I'm going to assume you're doing all these things, because if you're not aware of your calorie intake, if you're not following a strength program, if you're not getting 8 to 10,000 steps a day, your weekend doesn't matter. You got a lot of other things that you need to catch up on. So let's say you're checking all the boxes, but the weekend you just don't understand how to kind of navigate. You always feel like you're eating bits and pieces, or social events are getting in the way, or you're not home and your steps are falling short. Let's go over it. So from Friday to Sunday, I pretty much assume I'm going to be a social butterfly. I am not. But let's just assume, right? Like, I always imagine I'm going to have all the things, right? That it's never just going to go smooth. I'm never just going to be home. So Friday morning, still very much in my control. I can eat my normal breakfast. I will probably take out my heavier carb, right? So I'll have my egg whites, and I'll switch out my English muffin for like a thin slice of Dave's Killer Bread. It saves a little bit of carbs. I'm gonna start the day already banking away some carbs and fat. Usually I won't even have my whole egg if I know there's an event coming on, but I know I don't have plans tonight, so my whole egg was fine. But I'm going to save carbs and fats. I change my meal prep on Fridays and Saturdays and Sunday, right? I change my meals to bank those carbs and those fats for the potential social event to come, okay? So I do that. I make sure I walk as much as possible, and I make sure that I still get my lifts in. It's very important for me to at least lift once over the weekend, because it keeps my intentions smacked in my face. If I don't step into the gym, sometimes I can forget about this lovely journey that I'm on. If I do a nice lower or a nice upper leg day on Saturday, that stays in my mind, right? I just busted my ass in the gym. I have some great gains. I need to make sure I get my protein in to capitalize on that. I'm not going to smash drinks so my sleep is shit, and then my recovery is shit, and then the muscle doesn't happen. So I like to step in the gym at least once on the weekend to just, again, keep it very obvious what my goals are. It keeps me a little bit more in line. So then again, lunch, I will go a lot leaner. If I do, if I usually do a wrap, I might just do cold cuts wrapped in each other. If I do chicken salad on bread, I'll just do the chicken salad. If I have avocado on a sandwich, I'll take it off. Again, I bank my carbs and fats. Something may not come up, right? Like tonight, for example, we don't have anything. We're not going out. My daughter has dance. So at the end of the day, maybe I'll be able to have a really dense dinner with fat, maybe more of a dessert that I like. But tomorrow I am planning on doing something with friends. So tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to probably not eat. I'm going to push off my first meal, because once I start my engine, I get very hungry, right? So once I have my first meal, I want to keep eating the rest of the day. So what I always do is I push back my first meal whenever I have a social event. I'll have my 40 ounces of water, I'll have my coffee, I push it off. My son has soccer, then we're gonna go to the gym as a family, and then I'll eat my first meal. So after soccer, after the gym, I'll come home and I will eat a big old plate of egg whites, probably a protein bar. I'll crush at least 50 to 60 grams of protein in that meal with very low carb, very low fat. I'll probably make another cup or so of decaf coffee, hold me over. And then essentially, like, I have all the calories in the world to play with because I've gotten my metabolism up to eat 2,300 calories. If you have an event, right? I have an amazing client who has a bat mitzvah tomorrow, and she's like, what the hell? How do I log this? There's going to be appetizers and bites and licks. There's no real sit down. What my suggestion to do there, right, is I think you should always log it. Even if it's back, you go back the next day and estimate it. It's just good data rather than nothing. Pick 2 or 3 of the things you had. You don't need to log all 8, and just double them. So let's say you had a crab cake, a mozzarella stick, a chicken finger, a pigs in a blanket, a couple of rolls of sushi, a couple of spinach artichoke dips, right? You don't need to go through that all and just guess. Log, a normal amount of sushi, log 4 chicken fingers, and log 4 of this, right? Just because essentially they're all carbs and fat anyway, right? No one's really going overboard on protein at a dinner out or a bar, right? So go back and estimate. The more familiar you get with this stuff, the more you can log. But the biggest, I guess, if you could do 3 things, right, to control your weekend, is always plan for something to come up. Leave calories. Don't starve yourself throughout the day, but save your carbs and fats, and worst comes to worst, if you have a ton left over at night, hell yeah, who doesn't love a big old dinner and dessert, right? Get to the gym, honor your promises to yourself. It keeps you more in line. Get your steps in, get your water, okay, and get your protein in. You're never going to be in a situation at 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday and be like, oh my God, I have to cut myself off from my protein. I have to. I've just eaten so much today. No one's ever done that, right? No one's been at a bar and been like, oh, I'm overserved on my protein. Please take it away, right? You're overserved on carbs and fats and booze. So get your protein in, right? I like to have almost 75% to 80% of it eaten by mid-afternoon on the weekends. Makes me full, makes me know that I'm going to hit it. I have a ton of carbs and fats left for the night. End of the day, if I don't end up hitting all those, not the end of the world, right? So that's how I manage my weekends. But I'm telling you, it's the importance of all the other days. Knowing what a macro is, knowing and getting your metabolism up to a high amount so these meals out don't crush you, right? I can eat 2,300 calories a day easily. So the meals that I eat out that are 2,500, my body knows how to handle it. Get your steps in, follow a strength plan, do your best to estimate, okay? Try not to eat 10 or 12 different things, overestimate, go back and log it if you do log your food, and don't quit. Like, if I woke up tomorrow and had carrot cake for breakfast, I wouldn't just say, F it, the day's ruined, let's get Chinese food, bacon, egg, and cheese, and 10 martinis. All I do then is I realize that my carbs and fat most of them were taken in the morning, so now my lunch and my dinner are going to be leaner. That's it. I've done plenty of things where I blow it out in the morning and completely save the day in lunch and dinner. But if you have that mentality of, oh, I'm done, this is it, whatever, you're going to take in thousands of more calories. But I'm telling you, the education is the most important thing. Knowing how to put a plate together, knowing what ounces look like, knowing how to order off a menu, being aware of alcohol and what pairs to do, what pairs not to do, that's the important thing, right? And looking ahead, right? Like, have some kind of guess of what you're doing on the weekend. If that means throwing a protein bar or a cold cut sandwich in your purse, go for it. I do it all the time, okay? I whip out sandwiches in all the weirdest places. I pack a lunch to go to the hair salon. But looking ahead at your schedule makes you not prepared. And then the last thing, you can always not eat. Okay? Most of us can go, I think it's like 3 weeks without food and we'd still be alive. So this starving or I had to eat, you didn't. You wanted to eat. You might have been a little hungry, a little hangry. You'll be fine. You don't have to eat. You can skip a meal. It will be okay. You can make up for it later, or you can just move on. Okay, so weekends should be fun. Enjoy them. Enjoy your social events, but they shouldn't be the reason why you're falling off. They shouldn't overwhelm you, but hopefully you have someone to bounce ideas off of, keep you streamlined. End of the day, plan for plans, and then you should be fine. But again, weekends are not the majority of your year, so don't let them throw you off for the rest of the week. I know. I will never skip a meal in my life. Just kidding. But right, we don't have to eat. We can skip. That's when you crack open your DC. Oh, I don't have one on me right now, actually. I usually, oh, it's in the house. That's why. All right, everybody. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, come on through. Let me know. But everyone have a good weekend. Save your carbs and fats. Get your steps in. Lift heavy. And throw sandwiches in your purse. See ya. How do I end this?